Hey folks, Councillor Craig Buchanan here, just with a very short summary of our December Council meeting, which has just taken place. The minutes will be out in due course, and as always, they remain the official record of all decisions made by Council. But I know a few of you are likely to be talking around some of the subjects that we covered on social media tonight and going forward. So I thought you'd appreciate a quick update from me. Look, guys, I reckon it was one of our more constructive meetings. We achieved quite a bit. We have given council approval for the Blue Tree project to go ahead, and we've asked the CEO to work with local families and with interested organisations to allow for the painting of one tree on council property. Now, that is alongside a proposal for a piece of artwork, which would be a more permanent commemoration and reminder of how the Blue Tree project is progressing. Look, we listened very intently to some very touching comments from members of the public, and I think we took those on board. The council minutes will show, I believe, that it was an 11-0 vote in the end to go ahead with both and to allow for one blue tree to be painted on council property. So that's a win. Another win, we approved a request by the Men's Shed group up in Baldivis that the city assist them in their aim of setting up shop alongside the Totally and Partially Disabled Veterans Association of WA out on Mandurah Road in Baldivis. Now, that's a long-term project, guys. Don't expect to see it come to fruition anytime soon. You're talking about a $3 million build, and there's a lot of work to be done. However, the council is on side with the work that needs to be done, and we will help the Men's Shed group in any way that we reasonably can. God bless them. They're not asking for council funding, so they don't have their hand in the ratepayer's pocket, which is good news. They're looking for independent funding sources elsewhere. So I wish them every success, and I'm pleased that we can work alongside them. We also approved a motion from Councillor Hayley Edwards calling on the council to advocate to the state government for a ban on plastic knives and forks and to institute a new offence of littering where helium balloons are released into the air. Look, I'm a little torn on this one, guys. I've got to be honest. I've got concerns for the environmental impact, particularly of helium balloons. On the other hand, I don't necessarily think it's any council's job to tell state government what it should be doing. You elect your state government representatives, you elect your councillors. To my mind, they sit in very different spheres. However, it was only an advisory. We were asking for advocacy rather than any firm action on the part of the city. And look, given the amount of aquatic sea life we've got around about Rockingham, given the danger of helium balloons, I was happy to support Hayley in that motion. So let's see how it goes. I suspect we can expect to see something from the state government, who are currently holding a review on that area, sometime soon. We didn't stop there, though. No, that would be enough for a normal council meeting, but we kept going this week. We have approved the removal of alcohol from the councillors' lounge going forward, and a review of our alcohol policies in general as they affect our entertainment of guests and other events around the city. Now, personally, I support the provision of alcohol at functions when we're entertaining guests. I don't have a problem with that. I'll be interested to see what the CEO's review recommends, if it makes any recommendations specific to that, or if it just tells us that things are going fine in that space at the moment. A little bit different. I took the view that alcohol in the councillors' lounge in this day and age probably didn't pass the pub test. That was certainly what I was hearing out and about. I took that on board. So did a number of other councillors. If I'm honest, I was pleasantly surprised that the vote went through. I wasn't sure it would, but it did. So let's give us some time. Let's see how that evolves. But the instruction has been issued to remove alcohol from the councillors' lounge. So going forward, I think that's another win for us. And I've left the big one till last because it was at the end of the agenda. But we have approved the concept, not the practicality, but we have approved the concept of live streaming for future council and committee meetings. We've asked the CEO to put together a policy framework to make that happen. And that means that as we move into a phase early next year where we're going to be looking at how individual rooms within the council building are utilised, we'll be able to figure where we're going to be sitting, where the main meetings will take place, if in the council chamber as it is or somewhere else. And those meetings will then be able to be live streamed. And that means you'll be able to sit in the comfort of your armchair at home and watch the scintillating debate as it unfolds. But perhaps more importantly, I think you will have a permanent record of the decisions that have been made, and you'll be able to see who said what and why individual councillors, including myself, have backed or declined to back individual moves. Those of you who backed my election will know that was a key election campaign of mine to achieve live streaming. This is a big first step, guys. The council's policy is now in favour of live streaming. There's some practicality to be overcome in the new year. We may not see it for 12 months, but we have taken a bloody big step in the right direction, and I'm very pleased that we did. Other points of interest, I also took a few minutes to outline some thoughts on the business plan. We're presented with a business plan for the next number of years, and amongst other things that includes a projection, not a firm figure, but a projection for our rates figures going forward. Now, many of you will have heard the number of 3.6% being bandied about. I thought that was staggeringly high. The current business plan, as it was presented to us yesterday, suggests 2.4% going forward. Now, I said very plainly last night, I think that's a good start, but I don't think it goes far enough. I think we need to see that figure having at most a 1 in front of it. Ideally, I'd like to see a 0. So I've made my views clear. I've asked the officers to take that on board. And hopefully they will bring forward proposals that at least allow us to say how we might get to a 0 rates increase. We had the usual discussions about not likening this council to other councils. Look, there's some truth in that, but I reckon we've got some economies of scale. We're a big council. That means we spend a lot on a lot of projects, but it also means we've got a lot more ratepayers than some of the small towns and cities in the metropolitan area. And it also means we've got economies of scale. We do things more in a more streamlined fashion, and we save money by doing that. We're very good at it. I just want to see us get better. I think every organisation can improve, and so I look forward to working with the officers over the next 6 months to see what we can do to get that figure even lower for ratepayers here in Rockingham. So it was a busy night. As I said, the minutes will be released later this week on the city's website, and you should, of course, rely on those as the official record of what was agreed to and what was declined. This short video is only for your general information. The year's almost done. I don't know where it's gone, but it doesn't feel like 3 months since the election in October, I can tell you that. We've got probably a couple of advisory meetings left to go, and we've got the annual electors meeting, and then we'll take a break over the Christmas period, and hopefully I think a well-deserved break for all of us from social media. If you haven't received your Christmas card yet, and if you think you're on the nice list and not the naughty one, it's probably because Claire and I this year have taken the money we would have spent on postage, which, to be honest, I always grudge, and we've adopted this little fellow. I don't know if you can make him out there. His name's Paul. He's one of the injured koalas currently recovering from the bushfires over east. He caught our attention online, and we couldn't resist the little fella, so instead of paying postage this year, we'll be adopting him for the next 12 months. Hopefully that gives everyone a little nice, a warm feeling towards the end of the year. Now, that being said, we wish you all a very happy and a safe Christmas from our family to yours. We look forward to seeing you around the traps in the coming weeks. If you see us, please shout out. I'm always happy to stop and have a chat. And if not, we look forward to catching up with you in the new year. So until then, Merry Christmas and all the best.